Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Dave, and today I want to show you all of my plants that are hybrids. So I'm fascinated by aroids that are hybrids because, for one, they grow better, and for two, it's kind of cool to see the different characteristics that they pick up from the parent plant. You know, to make a parallel to that, it's almost like if Nike Air Jordan and Louis Vuitton come together to make a new shoe. You know, sneakerheads will know what I'm talking about. When a new shoe drops, it's exciting. Same thing when you get these new hybrid plants, it's kind of exciting because you don't know what characteristics that plant is going to have. When it gets mature, it may do something that nobody thought it would do. It might turn to a whole different color. It's like mysterious, you know, especially when you grow them out. So when these different botanists and, you know, people in Thailand, Indonesia, people down in the colleges in Florida and, you know, the nurseries down there, when they create these hybrids, they may have a mature specimen for themselves, but when they start to, you know, sell these hybrids and they're in different countries, different growing conditions, that hybrid may have a different form. We already know how these aroids can do. So I can have one here in California and it may turn a whole different color. It may get narrow, may get wide. We don't know. That's the cool thing about aroids in general, is that they do, you know, transform. They can change shape and color. So that's the fascinating thing about hybrids. I mean, I think the goal is they're trying to get the best of both worlds and put it into one plant. So the first hybrid I want to show you is this Alocasia regal shield. A lot of you may have Alocasia regal shield, but you didn't know that it was a hybrid. And I'll show you what the parent plants are. So if you take the Alocasia odora, which looks like this, and you cross it with the Alocasia black velvet, then you get the Alocasia regal shield. So this is my regal shield I got from Home Depot. It's a little bit contorted because it was grouped up with a lot of other Alocasia regal shields. But you know, a lot of people didn't know that this plant was crossed with the black velvet. You can see some of the similarities. I think just the regal shield being one of the bigger elephant ear plants that's crossed with a jewel Alocasia like this velvet texture from the black velvet does translate to the regal shields. Let's check it out. I don't have any perfect leaves right now, but if you see that shiny texture, that is a trait that comes from the black velvet. And also, you know, these, I think the lime green veins and, you know, just a real deep dark color. But yeah, this plant was in full sun and it has to adjust to my living room. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it alone. I normally do well with alocasias, but having one this big inside will be a first for me. So this is a new leaf unfurling here. And I'll just leave it alone, and it's in a northeast window. So I think it'll get, you know, some decent amount of morning sun, but then after that, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't get leggy. Like I said, this one was grown in full sun because these plants do like a lot of light. As you can see, one of the parent plants I have in the backyard growing in full sun. And when I bought this one, it was growing in full sun. But I think that it would look better if it, you know, had some shade. So that is Alocasia regal shield, a hybrid of the Alocasia odora and the Alocasia black velvet. Okay, excitement, because the next two hybrids that I want to show you all, I just got yesterday. And you know what? I have not seen them on YouTube at all. So these are brand new hybrids. They probably have been out for a while. I just haven't seen videos on it. So hopefully I can be the first to introduce to you all these two new hybrids. But the way that I want to introduce you all to these new hybrids, I got a skit that I want you to see. Check it out. Hello, welcome to the Aroid Poet Show. We are here talking to Red Emerald, and I want you all to hear her story. Well, I went to a party one night. That is where I met Macaulay's finale. We had a little too much to drink. I went home with him. He tooted and booted. And next thing you know, along came little Kathleen. Well, guess what? He does not claim her. He has not visited her. He says she is not his child. So I'm here for a DNA test. He even scurried across town and did the same thing to the Gloriosum. So you're saying that he also did the same thing to the Gloriosum? Ooh, that baby probably gonna have some good hair. So, hey, let's bring Gloriosum out and see what she has to say about this. Yeah, we share the same story. But as for Macaulay's finale, he can remain the cheap, low-down landscaping plant that he is, while me and my daughter Summer continue to be a household name. All right, well, let's hear from Macaulay's finale via Skype. Hey, yo, listen, these young ladies is confused. It was my cousin that they went home with, the Prince of Orange. You know, we look just alike. So, y'all confused? Y'all bugging out on me? Those are not my offspring, and that's my story. So, is there any comments from the audience? Oh yeah, I just wanted to say to the Macaulay's finale, if you're not going to take care of your responsibilities, you should keep your pollen inside of your space.
Right, I heard that.
Okay, enough said. These DNA results are in. Let's get into this. When it comes to 1-year-old Kathleen, Macaulay's finale, you are the father. And also, when it comes to 6-month-old Summer, Macaulay's finale, you are also the father.
Oh, I already knew that.
Now let's go ahead and bring these babies out so the audience can see what they look like. So we got the babies here. First up, we have the Philodendron Kathleen. Here is little Kathleen right here. So I wasn't impressed by this plant when I first seen it, but it is interesting just because, you know, the parent plant is the Macaulay's finale and the Philodendron arubescens. So this is going to be a climbing plant, but every new leaf is going to have like these sunset colors. You may have like this bronze color. It'll come out with a bright red or a bright orange, and it's going to, hold on. It's going to look just like this plant. It's just going to have all these colors to it, you know? So this is the mother plant, and, you know, just this being crossed with the Macaulay's finale, which looks a lot like the Prince of Orange. You're going to get these Prince of Orange looking leaves, but it's also just going to climb a lot like the arubescens or red emerald, as you all may know it. So that is little Kathleen. You can see this leaf looks more like, you know, the pink princess or the red emerald looking, you know, has that look. But this new leaf is looking a lot like Macaulay's finale. So it'll be interesting to see what this one does. Stay tuned for that. And then we also have the Summer Glory. So they're calling this one Philodendron Summer Glory because it is the Macaulay's finale crossed with the Gloriosum. As you can see, it looks a lot like the Gloriosum, but it just comes out with a red, orange, or pink leaf. And then the leaf actually has like a pink blush or like a reddish blush to it as it gets bigger. So I got this one in the mail last night. It had a little bit of damage. I cut off a couple of leaves, but it also had another shoot. So I have two of these because I have a smaller one upstairs, but you know, I like how it has the red stem and you know, this new leaf comes out with that peachy color, you know? So let's take this one outside and see what it looks like, because it'll be the first time I'm seeing it with some natural sunlight, because I got this one in the evening time yesterday, you know. So these next two hybrids I'll show you at the same time. This is an update on the hybrid that I was really excited about. This is a Philodendron patriciae crossed with the Philodendron esmeraldens. This right here in the middle is the newest leaf, and I have this growing outdoors in the greenhouse. So it's starting to get wide and starting to get some length to it. So that's that. And of course, y'all seen a lot of this. This is my Philodendron Florida Ghost. This is a hybrid of Pedatum and Squamiferum, but somehow they got some variegation to it to where the new leaf comes out white. But these leaves are staying white, so I'm a little bit concerned. They're not fading down to green like they do indoors. This one being outside, it's putting out these white leaves and it's staying white. But, you know, it keeps growing. It has that growth point in there, if you can see that. So I'm loving these two hybrids. This one seems to be growing fairly quick. So we'll see what happens. I have two more of these. I have the mother plant and another cutting. All right, I'm sweating and it's hot because I have to go outside to get this next plant. I already showed you all this plant in my last video, but it's a hybrid, so I got to show y'all again. But wait, damn. It's like 90 degrees outside and like all my jokes is about to go out the window because I feel like I'm about to catch an attitude with all this heat. But damn, all right. Sorion. So yeah, I showed y'all this plant in the last video, but this is a hybrid of the Alocasia frydek or Mycolitziana, and it is crossed with the Alocasia zebrina. It is holding on to 1, 2, 3, about 5 leaves, and it has some babies growing down there. I think it's 2 shoots down there. When it comes to the parent plant, I feel like it got the best of both worlds. It has the veination of the Mycolitziana or the frydek, but it did not get the velvet texture. It's like a unique glossy texture on this one that I actually prefer, because the velvet on the frydek actually makes me nervous. I ain't gonna say it makes me nervous, but it just makes me feel like I don't think I'm gonna be able to do good with that plant. It's already an alocasia, then it has like that soft velvet texture. I'm like, it's just gonna fall over at any minute. But this one being more glossy and sturdy, I actually like it better. So this is Alocasia sorion. The parent plants are frydek and zebrina. There we go. Damn. So the Glorious is doing fine. It's living that rough life outdoors in a greenhouse. This past week, you know, we've been getting temperature in the 90s, and it's still here. A little bit of tip damage, but it did put out this new leaf that came in perfect. And I have not put this one on a pole yet, but if you can see, it did put out some aerial roots. So I'm in a predicament right now. I can actually chop this and propagate it, or just put it on a pole and leave it. But the fact that I don't like these leaves down here, it makes me think that I'm gonna probably cut it right there and propagate this one, so that I can get a fresh start and I can get some perfect leaves. I don't like all of these yellow tips, and it's kind of like, it's kind of leggy. So I know if I were to cut it and propagate it, I can get it, you know, the way that I normally like to see growth. Start it over. So matter of fact, right after this video, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But this is the Glorious, which is a cross between Melanochrysum and the Gloriosum. So next we have Manjula pothos. Yes, this is a hybrid. It's a hybrid of the pothos enjoy, and they cross that with the pothos snow queen. And that's how you get the Manjula pothos. So I used to have this one climbing up a pole. I chopped it up. I have a lot of these now all over the place. I do have the mother plant that's still growing on a pole outside, and these cuttings right here I have growing in, oh, actually I have growing in nothing. Look, it ain't nothing in there but a couple of rocks, no water at all. But I wanted to have, like, you know, a couple of the trailing ones, and I wanted to get another pole to put these on. The one outside is attached already to that pole, so I wanted to get like a plank or something to really do the Manjula pothos right, because I'm telling you, this plant really does look amazing when it gets, you know, those big round leaves with all of this pattern. So the pattern comes in very white and green, and then over time you start to get these little green speckles. So the older leaves start to get the speckles on it after it comes out solid green, solid white, and it'll just come in like pretty cool. So next hybrid we have is the Anthurium radicans crossed with luxurians. I think this one is popular. You can get one as a starter plant really easy. This is the newest leaf on it. It was very red at first, and then it's starting to fade down to this lime green, and then it'll go to this dark green. But I have a couple of these because I propagated it. And this one is easy going. I actually let this one dry out quite a bit before I water it again. It's just my neglect, but it still keeps going, so we good with this one. And then I have one other Anthurium hybrid, which is the Crystal Mag. I'll take the camera upstairs and show you that, because I don't feel like moving that one down here. So I think you all have seen this one quite a few times. This is my Anthurium Magnificum crossed with Crystallinum. It's doing well. It has a new leaf coming in right there. And you know, that is that. Very easy plant, especially now that the root system is pretty big. So I'm happy that it's holding on to 3 leaves even while this new one is coming in. So the last plant I want to show y'all is the Philodendron Majestic. Y'all remember I told y'all about these, I think we made one of these moss poles together. It's doing fine. I'm gonna tell you all about it, but check out the Majestic. It's doing fine, and it has actually rooted into this moss pole. But see, the problem with that is it rooted into the moss pole down here, and it also rooted at this node here, but the leaves are not getting big as fast as I would thought if it rooted into the pole, you know? This new leaf should have been significantly bigger than this one. And this new one that's coming in, it doesn't look like it's gonna be significantly bigger either. So I'm starting to think that if it were to attach to something a little bit more solid, I should have put more bark and leca in here. Then maybe it probably would have, you know, recognized something solid. But overall, my plan still worked, because if I plan to propagate this plant, it will already have a root system inside of here when I make the cuts along the nodes, you know? And I would say, you know, by the time it gets about here, I will, you know, propagate it. So let's go take a look at this one in the sunlight. So I don't think I mentioned that this one is a cross between the Varicosum and the Philodendron Soderoid. So you can definitely see the silver marks from the Philodendron Soderoid, and you can see that the new leaf comes in with the red pattern on the back, and that's from the Gloriosum. So that's it for today. I am done. It's hot. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like, I really love hybrids. My next quest is to get a couple more of the Anthurium hybrids. A lot of them are being sold as seedlings, so you can't really tell how they look, and that's probably why I don't pull the trigger on buying them. I do want to kind of see some characteristics of what it's crossed with before I purchase it. I'm not about to just purchase a bunch of those little seedlings, so that is that. Well, hopefully everybody stay blessed, stay out of the heat. It's crazy out here in LA. It's hot. We got fires everywhere and all of that. So, yeah, blessings to you all, and I'll see you on the next one.